Servus, Freunde. What are you doing?
We need to do something. We need to change the shot, Jimmy.
Okay, I think you're right.
Yeah.
How about this?
Yeah. Jimmy, come on. Just because you have the money and you edit this thing and practically do everything doesn't mean that you can decide everything. Okay?
Okay, you're right. Servus, Freunde. My name's Jimmy Cage.
I'm Deniz the Buddymeister.
Doof. Servus, Freunde. My name's Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister.
We have reviewed more than 500 indie movies on the channel, and today's one was once again picked directly for us by one of our awesome Masala tier supporters. Alan Joseph has chosen the 1996 Malayalam language romantic comedy drama Azhakiya Ravanan. It was directed by Kamal, written by Sreenivasan, and also starring a few people, which the Buddymeister can tell us more about.
If he wrote them down. And he did.
Nice.
The movie starring Mammootty, Bhanupriya, Sreenivasan, Innocent, Biju Menon, and Jagadish. And yeah, I think there are some more.
And I think Cochin Hanifa is also important.
Okay. Yeah. The movie, I found something out about this movie. I did a little research. Wasn't that much to find out, but obviously this movie tanked at the box office in the 90s.
Why is it obvious?
I don't know.
Okay.
The movie tanked. No, there will some interesting talk about this movie.
Okay.
But yeah, the movie tanked at box office, and it was like quite a surprise. Everybody thought it was going to be a hit, and Mammootty apparently in many interviews said that this is like the movie where it's the saddest that the movie like didn't work out at the box office. Yeah, what is Azhakiya Ravanan about? A millionaire, played by Mammootty, returns to his village without disclosing his true identity. Once there, he tries to win back his childhood love Anuradha, come what may.
Yes. The title translates to Handsome Ravanan.
Yeah.
And Ravanan is, of course, the mythological demon king from the Hindu epic Ramayana. And I'm sure the title refers to Mammootty's character Shankadas, who's certainly not your typical hero. He is more of an anti-hero, if you want to call him any hero at all.
Yeah, he's a strange character.
He's a strange character. He's the titular, handsome, rich guy, like you said, who's coming back to his native village and who thinks he can buy anything he wants with his money. I enjoyed a lot of elements of the movie. I thought the few song and dance sequences, especially I think the second one, I thought they were all pretty wonderful. The soundtrack was composed by Vidyasagar, who I think made his debut in Malayalam cinema with the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And the presentation of the songs is also really lovely. The movie did win 3 Kerala State Film Awards: Best Lyricist, Best Music Director, and Best Female Singer. I also like the performances, especially the one by Bhanupriya as Anuradha. I thought she was really strong. And also, like, maybe half of the comedy worked quite well for me.
Yeah.
And maybe I will talk about after I heard from you.
Yeah, I mean, like you, I kind of liked this movie. I thought it was very entertaining in many regards. It has a lot of fun characters, fun moments. It also has a little bit of heart in some moments and drama and action. You know, there's
the action.
There's a little bit of everything in there. But the thing is, now I segue into things don't come together in the end.
The ending is something
as fun and interesting as the characters are. The thing is now, I think the basic story, the concept of this movie could have worked. I think it's an interesting story, but not in the way that they pull it off. Because first of all, I had a problem with can I root for someone here? I didn't like any of these characters. Anuradha is the only one that I like, but she's like just too less time in this movie. And pretty much every male is an asshole in this movie.
I think it's okay not to have characters that you root for.
It's okay.
Especially in the first half when the movie is mainly a comedy. Because in a comedy, it's fine.
That's on point,
the protagonist is some kind of douchebag or has a lot of flaws and is maybe even a bad guy. In a comedy, that's okay.
Yes.
In the second half, the movie turns more into a drama.
Yeah.
And then it was really losing me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I liked a lot of stuff, but also I disliked a lot of stuff. And overall, I thought this movie was, I was almost lost with this movie. I thought a lot was lost in translation. A lot of the comedy didn't really work that well for me because I think most of the comedy is through the dialogue. It's a movie where, especially in the first half, there's constant talking.
Yeah.
There's so many dialogues, so many subtitles you have to constantly read. And I thought, I guess right now that's a lot of fun what's going on. How they say their lines, the back and forth. I think there's wordplay in there. It's probably a lot of fun, but it's not really coming across to me because I don't understand the language and I'm only relying on the subtitles. And then there are cultural barriers. For once, we have the story with Ravanan. We are not really familiar with the original epic tale.
Yeah.
So we don't understand all the nuances, the subversions. We don't really get that. We get maybe the idea like, this is kind of a different version of the Ramayana.
Yeah, I mean, I read about because Ravanan is like the demon with the 10 heads also, and like every head stands for a trait or a feature, like for example, lust, anger, delusion, greed, and like the character of Shankaran, he has like kind of a transformation, but he doesn't really. But there is there are elements of these different things in him because he's greedy sometimes, he is lustful definitely, he's like angry, he's like there's that thing. So maybe that's maybe one thing that I kind of thought, they put like these different features that Ravan has like into this character, but that's all I.
Yeah, so that's something that we don't have.
Yeah.
Then obviously we don't have any nostalgia for the movie because we watch it now for the first time.
Yeah.
We have maybe a little bit of nostalgia for filmmaking back then and the young Mammootty and the young Sreenivasan and Innocent. So a little bit of that, but not like real nostalgia like Malayalis have, obviously. And also it's, again, a movie that shows us how different the filmmaking and especially the storytelling is. There are so many tonal shifts from comedy to drama, and just also the structure of the story. In the first half we have like this they are making a movie. The second half that's completely gone, and all these things that make it more like a patchwork.
I mean, these things we know that by now, and we know that it can work. But I think if there are different things that like pull the movie down, and you're thinking about only what is happening here, then you get this patchwork feeling. Because I thought like at the beginning this movie had kind of a nice build up, how the different characters like come to this village and get like reunited or something, and also like how it's shot. I mean, it's not like the very striking, but there are some beautiful scenes.
It's striking with the songs. The songs,
with the songs, but also like some little scenes where Shankaran is sitting with what's his name? Ambujakshan. That's Sreenivasan's character. They're like sitting on a boat on the water, drinking toddy under the moonlight. It's just shortly before the first or second song, I think, and that's kind of it's so comfortable. It has this Malayalam chill vibe at times, and I thought the build-up was kind of nice. How we get to know these people, and I was kind of intrigued how they like intertwine these different stories. So because the atmosphere was there. I was thinking, so what is going on now?
But normally if a movie really clicks for us, all these cultural differences, all the idiosyncrasies, they are interesting for us, and they are a reason why we watch these movies. But in this case, most of them like well, more like a detriment for me.
Yeah.
Because the movie is also like very dated.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it comes to the love story and the ending, especially.
Yeah, I mean, there are like so many things in like 15 minutes where I thought, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I like I said before, the male characters in this movie are all terrible. I mean, Ambu Jakshan, Sreenivasan's character, is only like comedic relief.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything that he's quite alright, I guess. But Sharat, the guy, the director guy, and Shankaran, played by Mammootty, they are both terrible characters. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they have both
they're
terrible
terrible people.
Yeah.
And again, terrible people can absolutely work.
Yeah, but I mean,
Taxi Driver.
Yeah, but of course. But I mean, in the way this movie is narrated, because you think like, no, this just this doesn't work. This doesn't work for me at all.
For a long time, you are wondering what side the movie is on.
Yeah,
and that's something.
That's it. Yeah,
there are a lot of scenes also with the woman alone and with the woman and the family, and I like that stuff because they are openly saying things like. We won't be bought by money, and you don't have to marry.
Yeah, that's
stuff like that, and that feels like a little bit progressive, maybe. And you feel like, don't go to that guy.
Yeah, but the movie only uses it to turn things around.
Yeah, he only uses it to then
show you what's really right.
And that's again an element that oftentimes works for us. There's a flashback, an important flashback in a movie, and usually a flashback like that. Explains stuff or gives you more information, and it's doing that here. But for me, this flashback didn't really work because one, I thought the actor wasn't that great. The young Mammootty, the woman, the girl, she was charismatic. The guy was a little bit overacting, I thought, and also
it wasn't enough.
It wasn't
for
enough
me. It wasn't enough,
and it's also it paints this. It wants to be rather sweet and charming. But it's also really dated. I mean, this is an old movie, but it's also like a situation where the boy just forces himself on the girl. Yeah. Then all of a sudden the girl also likes that and they are fine. And it wasn't enough. It wasn't this beautiful, romantic teenager
the thing with the necklace was nice, where he's like jumping into the water. Yeah, it was this thing. I mean, there were parts in it where I thought, okay, but like you said, it didn't like. It didn't like I didn't feel it in my heart.
Yeah, and it's not enough to like turn the character around to make him some kind of redeemable figure. Yeah, some kind of where you can relate to. No. And that was a problem for a long time. I was wondering, why should I be that invested in the story? Because Mammootty's character is really not that likable. Yeah, and it's fun at times when it's a comedy, because there's also the scene where Jagati is playing himself. Jagadish, and he's like really confronting Mammootty's character and makes fun of him. And that was really fun.
Yeah, also where he's like just sitting in the shot. He's just sitting somewhere with his chair, and then like letting the producer hang out like, it's my money. And I thought it was funny, and also like the scene where he's trying to force them to put his song into the movie, where they like. Compose this song, la 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 la, and he comes in there and sings something different. It's really a nice comedic scene. I was really laughing.
But then there's
things fall apart.
There's the ending. And it's a movie again. We have seen some of these old Malayalam movies that are very like just dated and regressive. And this again was one of those where you think maybe they get the curve, maybe it's ending on the right track, and he's leaving, and they have like, I mean, there's this moment where he wants to leave. He's with the car on the boat or something. Exactly. And I thought it wasn't perfect, nowhere near perfect, but I thought, okay, maybe even give us that he can leave, and like he doesn't get anything because he acted like an ass. But he turns around and gets everything he wanted. And that's really just why. And then there's this line from the woman like, I hated you, but then
that what he like said at one point.
Until now that
I hated you so much that it became love. And the thing is, like, there is this moment where Anuradha thinks that the right way to get rid of Shankaran is to sleep with Sharat.
Yep.
Although she's married to Shankaran.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so I thought it was so terrible that like she falls at his feet at the end, like apologizing for what she did to him, although he did everything with money to get to her. That's such a like that's such a weird scene. I thought it was and also like there's this moment where she is with Sharat, who slept with her. And he also says, now that she says, what did I do with me? And he says, yeah, but please, Anuradha, think about me. Think about what I have to go through now. And I'm, what? What is going on?
Yeah.
And then there is the scene at the end when Shankaran, Mammootty's character, says something. He starts all right. He starts out with how arrogant I was. But then he says, but no hard feelings towards the village. And I thought, okay, so he's always right. He's such an arrogant character. It doesn't work. And I thought, what is this movie trying to say to me?
And again, maybe it works better when you have the source material, the Ramayana.
Maybe of course.
I don't know, but we don't have that layer.
Yeah, and maybe 30 years ago, I mean,
it
would have worked. Another time, it's another culture.
Yeah.
But if we just like look at it through this lens of does it still work today? No.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
At least for us, I think. I don't know for who it might work. There might be people, but it's just too. Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to mention because it was so bonkers. But before the climax, we get a fight scene that was so crazy.
The brawl between Sharat and Shankaran.
There are two brawls in the movie. There's one towards the end where the choreography was so crazy with a lot of edits.
Oh yeah, that's before the end where Shankaran is like sitting on this table and people are flying and the tourists are watching.
Yeah, and we get reaction shots. It was so bizarre. It was so fun.
They probably didn't know what was going on.
It was intentionally funny, but you have the most craziest fight scene ever. Yeah. And if something like that would happen in real life, you would like, what the fuck is going on? And then you have these reaction shots to some Western tourists who like, what's going on? And these crazy fights were so hilarious. I thought, what's going on?
People were flying on tables and everything.
And again, this points, of course, to the when the movie was made. We have seen old Malayalam movies, they have a little bit of everything. And these crazy fight scenes. And people back then loved it and maybe still love it. For me, it was just, what's going on now here? We need to have some ass kicking now towards the end. Yeah, so what would you say in German?
Azhakiya Ravanan hat eine interessante Grundstory und schmückt diese auch mit genügend Witz und Action aus. Dieses Gerüst bröckelt aber bereits früh und bricht aufgrund seiner altbackenen Ideen und Konstrukte am Ende mehr oder weniger zusammen.
Azhakiya Ravanan hat seine Momente, aber leider ist er für mich auch ein ziemlich starkes Beispiel für einen Film, dessen kulturelle Eigenheiten und Stärken fast gänzlich verloren gehen in der Übersetzung.
Oh man.
What?
Yeah, nice. I wouldn't wonder if like people say get rid of that guy with the blue shirt.
No. Yeah, with the rating, I liked stuff, but as a whole, it just didn't really work for me. So I give Azhakiya Ravanan 5 out of 10. It's more like 5.4, but I don't do that.
Okay, for me it's 6 out of 10. It's more like 5.8, but I don't do that either. So Jimmy, the first thing trivia I wanted to like research was real brawls at movies. So where did we get like where we get like known fights between directors and actors or something. Yeah, but it's not. There's many stuff between Sylvester Stallone and Richard Gere and I don't know, Tom Hardy and Shia LaBeouf and something like that. But I didn't know. I thought it wasn't interesting enough. Now I find something. You can see how much it is. It's this part.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're ready to lose some subscribers. Maybe I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. No. That's it. It's just something I read.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read. Yeah. So did you know that after 5 years, just a few days ago, a 290-page report into problems faced by women in the Malayalam language film industry was revealed. It says that the industry is dominated by a mafia of powerful men and that sexual harassment of women is rampant. It also details the abysmal working conditions on sets, including a lack of toilets and changing rooms, no food and water, poor pay, and no accommodation or transport facilities. The Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, the AMMA, which includes people like Mohanlal, Mammootty, Jagadish, Innocent, Dilip, Siddiqui, denied pretty much everything. And yeah, but the executive committee, including a few of those actors, was dissolved a few days ago.
I think Mohanlal just retired.
Yeah, shortly after he retired as president of the committee, the whole thing was dissolved amidst to these allegations. So
yeah, it's a bigger story.
Yeah, it's a bigger story. It just they like made a petition. It's like the WCC, I think it's called. It's like women's in cinema. It's like this. They got together and made a petition in 2019 to get into these things, and all kind of delays and stuff. And now 5 years later, this thing came out just a few days ago. So yeah, very interesting.
Definitely, very fitting to this movie. Maybe
very fitting to this movie. Very fitting to this world and where everything happens the same. So yeah, supposedly yeah.
I have to do some research. I only
I read an article today on BBC. I think it was. You can read some pretty harrowing, interesting stuff. Yeah.
You can find us, follow us, and support us on patreon.com/azhakiya. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like.
And make sure you hit that bell if you want to get notifications. And see us too talking about movies.